Hi, I'm Rochelle and from Dreaming English. And you?
But I know about you very well. I know about you very well. You are a YouTuber and you are a teacher. But it will be better if you tell about yourself a little bit.
Yeah, so I am a mother of two children. Two children. I have one daughter and she's 11, and I have a son and he's 17. And he's just finishing with high school and going to be going to college to study mechanical engineering next year. I work full time in a high school. And at the high school, I work with students that are applying to college and really work as an advisor to them to help them pick out what they're going to study, help them apply to the colleges, help them do the financial aid and stuff. And what else about me? I live in Massachusetts, as I said. I live near the East Coast, near Boston, where there's maybe famous MIT that people might have heard of, and Harvard and stuff like that. I'm not sure. So that's a little bit about me.
Oh, you are an English teacher of American. Are you teaching students in schools or college?
So I teach them in the high school, and
Oh,
I don't teach them English. I really work with them on applying to college. So I work in the high school with them on their last year of high school, and really work with them one-on-one to help them, because here in the United States, it's much more complicated to apply to university than it is in other countries. So we have these people like myself that are advisors that really help the students to do all the applications.
yeah.
And
Okay, I see.
yeah.
I see. But we have primary school up to 5th class, then middle up to 8th grade, then up to high. Then it's the secondary school from 10 to 16, and then between 16 to 18 there is something we call it college. And then after the 12th class, students doing degree, we call it graduation. And then they are going to university for a level of qualification in master, MPhil, PhD in a specific subject. Our education system is pretty well, primary, upper primary, then secondary. So what is your education system?
Okay, so ours goes from what we have kindergarten, which is, and then we call it K through 12. So we first have the elementary, which starts kindergarten, and then first grade that starts around 5 or 6 years old. And then they go until fifth grade. And then they go to the middle school, which goes sixth grade to eighth grade. And then after that, they go to the high school, which is ninth grade to 12th grade, which is where I would work in the high school, and where my son is in the last year of that high school. After that, they apply for, during that last year of the high school, they apply to go to college or university, and they would go there for the 4 years. And then the graduate would be like that PhD or master's level. They would do that after that 4-year university, which we call bachelor's in the United States. I'm not sure if it's the same there, but we call that the bachelor's, or the undergraduate is the university level. And then once if they want to continue to go on to get their master's or their PhD, they would be graduate students.
Yes,
Sometimes
yeah.
at the same school or sometimes a different one.
Yeah. But sister, we learn two languages as compulsory subject. That is our mother language and English. And but most of the students are studying in their local language. English language is an optional language. When we are going to apply for admission in schools or college, we choose the medium of language. But only English medium students studying in this language, and also English is our third language. Our official languages are Hindi, English, and in our state, our official language is our local language. But American students are reading only in English. You are talking with each other in English and doing work in government offices in English languages. You have no any other options on languages. So it is very simple to you for to understand everything. Uh, but uh, but in we are talking in our local language, that is Odia, Bengali, Marathi, Urdu. It is so difficult to speak English like you, American people.
Yes. Yeah. So yes, we speak all English, and most schools don't offer to study a second language until maybe that middle school time of 6th grade to 8th grade. But a lot of schools don't offer, in the United States, do not offer any languages until 9th grade, as opposed to the English. So here where I live, in about 7th grade, they're offered possibility of taking either French, Spanish, or Latin, and then in the high school they can continue. It is, most colleges in the United States want the students to have 2 to 4 years of a second language, but it's not always required. For instance, my son, because he studied electrical engineering in high school, he only took 1 year of Latin, and he never took any other language, but he ended up getting into a university that really requires 4 years of Latin, but they made the exception because of his course load of having the electrical engineering, didn't really allow him to take those 4 years of a second language.
Yeah, right. But sister, in India, usually people prefer going to the private schools because they think that government school conditions are very bad, and they will get every aspect in private schools. But they like to do work in government offices, in government sector. They don't want to study in government schools. I don't know why, but we can learn extracurriculum activities, and we can learn discipline, so many things in government schools. So what is more common at your country, government schools or private school? How do you
So
get
I
your
think, I think public schools are probably more common. We definitely have private schools. Myself, my opinion was to go to the public school and save my money to be able to pay for the university for my children. And as somebody working with students that are applying to college, that I know colleges and universities look at each student, what was available to them at their high school. So if they went to a public high school, they want to see that that student took the most rigorous, the most difficult courses possible to them. And they just compare them to the students at their high school. They don't compare them to the students at the private school. So to me, it didn't make sense to pay that money for a private school for my children, instead to save my money for the university.
Yes,
That makes sense.
Indian education and American education, there is, and in my country there are 3 types of stream. You know about stream: science, arts, and commerce. For completion 10 standards, students will choose any one from these 3 options stream to study in college. And science students will do experiment topic science. Art students will get knowledge on history, geography, political science. And commerce students will study on business, economics, accounts, etc. It depends on the students. Some art students are getting the opportunity to do practical things in a specific subject. So which kind of education do you like, more practical or vocational?
So I think it depends on the student. For my son, the vocational, the hands-on makes sense. He's been in robotics, and he's actually built robots through his high school career, very hands-on, both designing them on the computer and actually building them, and like with the different machinery that you would use to make, the metal and everything. So he likes that hands-on. But some students, it's better for them to have that more, that more what we call liberal arts, like, the history and the arts and more of the book knowledge. Excuse me. So I think it depends on the student and maybe what they're going to do with their life. And so we have a mixture of both options. The university that my son will be going to will give him that option. Actually, he'll go to school for like 8 weeks, and then he has the option to work. And actually, they call it co-op. So he would have the option to work in the field of mechanical engineering and get that hands-on. In addition to, when he's in university, there's all kinds of labs, mechanical engineering labs, where he would be able to use the machinery and get hands-on experience there. Excuse me.
Yes, if you compare to your education and our education, very difficult, very different things. And yes, our people are always studying. Our people are studying in the college in English. They have lots of theoretical knowledge, but they have no any practical knowledge. Only the students doing their graduations, and they are not doing anything after that. After graduation, they are not doing any work. They are just spending most time only in study, only in theoretical knowledge.
Yeah, and like I said, I think that it's a mixture here depending on what kind of, like for instance, MIT, which I'm not sure if you heard of MIT in Massachusetts, there for the bachelor program, it's very theoretical, where it's book knowledge and such, and they don't actually get that hands-on until they get to the graduate level. So actually, my son applied to both MIT, and he actually didn't get into MIT, but he got into Northeastern, which gives a really hands-on experience of being both hands-on for the undergraduates, where they'll be able to get in those labs and actually use the equipment and everything. In addition, it gives him that co-op where he'll be working in the field. And while he's disappointed to not have gotten into MIT, I said, well, you can go there graduate. I mean, you know, when you go for your master's or your PhD.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you very much for describing on the education system of your country and about languages.
Yeah, thank you. I enjoyed speaking with you too, learning about education there.
Thank you very much once again for having a conversation and joining with me.
Okay, thank you. I enjoyed it. Thank you so much.
Okay, dear sister. Thank you very much. And take care of yourself and enjoy to learn.